So I was probably a 10, 11-year-old kid in 96 when you just mentioned the end was coming. And I remember the Zip character.
Oh,
And so here's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I've always loved wrestling, but kind of wasn't allowed to watch it again until 95. I was about 10 years old, and I remember Tom Prichard, but I had no idea that Zip was Tom Prichard at that point.
Well, let me say this: Zip really wasn't Tom Prichard at that point. It was a horrible time in my life, horrible time in my career. I think it was more of a rib on me. They'll never admit it, but it was everything that I wasn't, and I can tell you, it was not fun, and that's what I tell people all the time. If you can't get into it and you're not connecting with the audience and feel good about what you're doing, it's not going to work. So it wasn't me. I didn't enjoy it. Did I didn't even do my best because it was such a horrible gimmick to me, and I was not Zip. I played the part of Zip, and that's not what you got to do in this business. You can't play a part. You have to be authentic. You have to be the part, and that's what we talk about when we watch these old matches. We talk about the difference between today and yesterday. Yesterday, these guys were not playing a part. Bruiser Brody was not playing Bruiser Brody. He was that guy 24/7. Sometimes with the volume turned up, sometimes you had to turn it down. But guys like Wahoo McDaniel, Jack Briscoe, Terry Funk, they were those people. They were authentic characters. And I hate that word character, but they were authentic. They were the real deal. When you met them on the street, there was something about them. They were special. These days, everybody looks the same. Not everybody looks the same, but most guys are monotone and look the same in a variety of ways, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But they're just going out doing moves for the sake of doing moves, whereas there's no emotional feeling and no authenticity. So, yeah, with the Zip character, just to tell you, that was terrible for many reasons.
How was that pitched to you? Who pitched it to you? Was it Vince directly?
It was a time after the heavenly bodies were done in WWE. My partner Jimmy Del Rey and I were thrown together after my first partner Stan Lane just decided to quit. He wasn't making a lot of money, and he didn't like coming from Charlotte, North Carolina, to Knoxville, Smoky Mountain. So we got Jimmy Del Rey, and then we had a couple shows, pay-per-views there, and then Jimmy decided to be Jimmy and didn't want to come back. So it was one of those things where I said, "Hey, if there's any opportunity whatsoever," and it was pitched like this: "Well, would you like to cut your hair, dye it blonde, and be a body Donna?" I said, "Absolutely not." And they said, "Okay, click." And I went, "Whoa, wait a minute, hold on." And at that time, once again, you have to have the right mindset, and you've got to think positive. There was not a whole lot of positivity going on back then for me. And when I came into it, I came into it with all the wrong way of looking at it and the wrong attitude about it, and it was a disaster. And that's how I know, and that's why when I talk to people about stuff like that, I can tell them you have to have this mindset. You got to think positive. You got to believe, and you got to know what you want, and you got to know who you are. So it was pitched as, well, if you want this, this is what we have. If you don't, got nothing for you right now. And I understand that. I just wasn't ready to stop wrestling at the time. But man, when I got in that situation, I almost wished I would have, quite honestly.
I know that you ended up working with Candido like a year later in ECW. How did that situation come about?
Well, that was, once again, Chris had gone back to ECW. I was now teaching and coaching for WWE, and it was Paul Heyman. Vince and Paul, WWE and Paul always had a relationship. And what a better way to make use and give Chris a good win than to have me come in and put him over in ECW arena, which I was more than happy to do because I love Chris. Chris was great, and it's just the other circumstances that went with it wasn't so great.